What are you making today, Miss Martha? Well, my husband loves biscottis. He'll eat them for breakfast. He'll have them at night with a cup of tea when he's typing out his bills and stuff like that, or writing down his bills for me to type out, I should say. So today's biscottis are going to be nuts and things, which means I got a little bit of everything in it here. So let's run through what our ingredients are. There will be a dry bowl, a wet bowl, a nut bowl, and a topping bowl. In our dry ingredients, there will be almond flour, regular all-purpose flour, coconut flour, salt, baking powder. Did I mention that these are vegan also? I'm not a vegan. I wish I was a vegan, but you know, I do eat hamburgers and do eat fried chicken, stuff that I would be a healthier person if I was a vegan. So don't be hating on vegans, and don't think that the food is horrible or it's gonna, you know, you're missing everything, because I'm cooking more and more things that are vegan, and people keep asking my husband when they see the recipe, they go, I didn't know Martha was a vegan. And he just kind of chuckles about it and just lets it go at that. But let's move on to the next bowl. So we've got the dry ingredients, and the wet bowl is going to have, we have to start off with some of the flax seed, the ground flax seed. And this is going to be our egg substitute. We're going to add hot water in the microwave. We're going to heat it up. We're going to add that to the flax seed till it becomes a mixture that's going to emulsify. That's going to be our egg substitute in the bake. So we've got flax seed. We've got maple syrup, walnut oil, walnut milk, coconut milk, brown sugar, powdered sugar, coconut extract, almond extract, vanilla extract. That's the wet bowl. The nuts and things that are going in are chopped dates, chopped walnuts, sliced almonds, organic soy nuts, unsweetened flaked coconut and toasted coconut flakes, chickpeas, not the canned ones that they make hummus out of, the little dried, dehydrated ones, and I checked on them, they're vegan, they just got a little sea salt in them. Pistachio kernels, sunflower seed kernels. That's the nuts that are going in. And then once we've made it into a dough, and we've got it made into the little loaf that's got the little arch shape, so when you slice it, you're going to get the little biscotti, the classic biscotti shape. Before you bake the first bake of them, I have a little mixture in a small bowl. We're going to mix together the coarse raw sugar and the coarse sea salt. All the ingredients, the proportions and whatnot will be listed down under the Miss Martha Loves to Cook digital cookbook channel on YouTube, so you can follow along, or you know what to purchase ahead of time. All my ingredients that we bought today here came from Wegmans, and it was under $100. But I'm going to get a ton. This is like a double batch, because like I said, my husband loves biscotti, so I'm making a big double batch today. It's real simple to make. I don't have to use the mixer, and only thing is, my hand's going to get kind of messy making everything up by hand there. So we're going to have to put some parchment paper on our baking sheets. We're going to preheat the oven. We're using low heat in the oven because it's a twice bake, because you're trying to dry them out, because nobody wants a soggy biscotti. You want them nice and dry, because you may dunk it in your coffee, you may dunk it in your teas. People that partake of wine may dunk it in that, but you want a nice firm biscotti, because that's just what you're looking for in a twice baked Italian cookie. If you'll give me just a minute, I'll get my things separated into the proper proportions in the bowls, and we'll get along with making up the loaves, the dough, and making the loaves. So go get yourself a cup of coffee, and Miss Martha will see you back here in just a minute. We're doing biscottis. I love doing biscotti. Okay, I've got everything ready to rock and roll here. The thing is, though, I don't know why I didn't think about that ahead of time when we were doing a double batch. When I got all of the wet ingredients in the bowl here, I realized, oh crap, I'm not going to have room yet to put the dry ingredients in it and to put the nuts in it. So I'm not cooking anything, but I had to get the big stock pot out, but I didn't have a bowl big enough to use. So this is the wet ingredients that we discussed. Woo. We're going to add our dry ingredients into here. As much as we can stir, we'll stir. Then we'll start mixing it by hand for a dough. once we get that, oh, I'll show you. We just put it in here easily like this. Put it in, put it in, put it in, put it in. Start stirring it around until it gets to the point that I have to use my hands. Once we get it to looking like a dough, we're going to add the nut mixture. This is excellent just to eat on its own. Looks so good. Once we made the dough, we're going to divide it out into 4 equal loaves, and then we're going to make them have the little concave shape on them. Convex, concave. Concave is in, convex is raised, arch shape. Okay, trigonometry, geometry, high school, ages, decades and decades and decades and decades ago for me. So once we have them shaped to the biscotti shape before they're sliced, we're going to put our sugar, salt, coarse mixture on top. We'll do our first bake, bring them out, let them cool. Then they'll be sliced and not laid up like this with a sugar top. They'll be laid down flat so that the side that was inside the loaf was up. So they finish drying out. And then they'll come out the oven and they'll cool. And it's done. But it's because I'm doing a double batch. You can't have too many things on your parchment lined baking sheet, or there's not room for the heat to be getting all around them to dry them out. So you can only do 2 loaves at a time. So it might look like it's going to take me longer to do it, but we'll pause time on the video and you won't have to sit through all that. So I'm going to put the dry ingredients into the wet bowl and then the nuts into it, and I'll pick back up with you when I'm making the loaves. Thanks for hanging in there. Still working at it. Whew. This is when I wish my husband was sneaking home from lunch and I could have that little sous chef that helps me. I don't have the arm strength for all this stuff. Whew. I'll pick back up with you. Okay, I've got it divided into 4 portions here. A little bit of flour to go on my hands so it sticks to my hands too bad. As you can see, it's it's kind of a moist dough here. Not as if you were making regular dinner biscuits, it would be a more firmer dough than this. Because if it was too dry, all of your little goodies that you put in there would just keep crumbling out of it. So your tip is, if when you're adding your nuts and whatnot to it, if they keep falling out and you can't make them to stick into the dough, add a little more of whichever milk you were using, almond milk, walnut milk, whichever milk that you were using. Regular milk if you weren't not trying to concentrate on being vegan. If it is too wet and you can't make it to form into a shape, we're going to make the biscotti shape in just a minute, then you're going to have to add a little more. Just add some regular all-purpose flour to it, just a little bit, go by little stages until you can get it to work with. So now we're going to work with trying to press it out. You don't use a rolling pin, you're just going to use your brute force. It's going to take a little while. My videos run long, so okay, I'm going to get it up to and then we'll take my spatula and move it over, and then I'm going to do another one and move it over and sprinkle the sugar. I'll pick up back with you then. All right, we've got 2. Can't forget the best part. I'm going to just do it by hand. And we're going to put these in 335 degrees. And I'm on the second rack down from the top so they don't cook too fast on the bottom. So these are going to go into bake for about 20 minutes. I'm going to kind of touch and see that they're starting to get firm. They'll come out and they'll cool down really, really well before I try to slice them, because that's the secret to biscotti, and I got a really sharp knife to do that with. Otherwise, they just crumble apart. So while these were cooling down, I'll put the second tray that I'm going to make in a minute off camera, put those in, and they'll be baking. So when they come out, then I'll turn the oven temperature down to the lowest I can get it, 300 degrees, to do the second bake. And you got to keep an eye on that second bake, because if they look like they're cooking too fast, just open your oven a little bit and let it cool off. Leave it like a little crack in the oven door. So the temperature will drop and you can close it back up and check them, give another 10 minutes to cook. Because nobody wants a soggy biscotti. So you got to do the 2 bakes. I'm going to finish putting a little more sugar salt mixture on top of these, and they'll go into bake, and I'll make the other 2 loaves, so we'll pick back up in a few minutes. Oh, it's heavy. Oh, Jesus. That's what they look like. Cinnamon sugar on them, going into bake now. Oh. It's like working at the gym when you're baking in the kitchen, isn't it? Okay, the first batch has got another like 10 minutes left on it. The second batch is ready to go in. So when those come out, I'll put those on a wire rack and let them cool. I'll put these in to bake, and I've got wait time here because you've got to wait, let everything cool before you can slice them and put them back in for the second bake. I'm going to work on my self-portrait. Ooh, that's heavy. They look like Miss Martha. See you in a few minutes. Okay, well, the timer's about to go off on the first batch of biscotti to come out, and I realized that I'm not going to have that much time. I just got a little bit done on it because I got 4 chihuahuas to take out. Let's get the biscottis out. Timer off. Watch out, puppies. Hot oven. Fog up Mommy's glasses. Look at that. Beautiful. Golden. That's the first bake. You see how beautiful they look? Put those over here on the wire rack. Put the next batch in. Straighten them up. Ouch. Boy, that's heavy. Is that the timer? Okay. I got a 30-minute wait time here because those have to bake. These can't go in until that comes out, and I can't slice these till these cool. So I'm gonna go out back and play with my 4 chihuahuas for a little bit, and I'll come back in, get to the next stage. Which once these cool, I'll take them over to the cutting board here. I'll slice them at a diagonal angle so you're gonna get that little biscotti shape that you're all used to. See you in a few minutes. Okay, well, the first batch is sliced into the biscotti shape, ready to go back in for their second bake. However, I'm doing a double batch. My second batch isn't out in the oven yet. So I'll go watch some more Midsummer Murders on Netflix while I'm waiting to put these in the oven. Okay, second batch has been sliced. First batch from their second bake are just coming out of the oven now. I'll show you. Whew. So this is the finished product. See how beautiful they look? I'm calling it Nuts and Things Biscotti because it's got a bunch of stuff in it. Put these down over here for a second. These are going to go in for 20 minutes for their second bake, but I'll let you know. Here, you don't begrudge me having a little nibble. Tasty. When you're married to somebody like I am, he's gonna come in here and go, don't throw that away, don't throw that away, I'm gonna eat that part. So I gotta scrape that off, put that in a little bowl for him. I'll put this in the oven, we'll pick back up. Okay, gorgeous, aren't they? Let me show you up close. It's a hot one. Biscotti. This is for the crunch. Oh yeah, good. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll make this recipe the next time you have to take a brunch item in. You can see it's just the bake time is what kind of holds you up. You can't like disappear and go shopping or anything. You gotta hang around the house, but do it on a day when you got other little hobbies that you're doing, laundry or knitting or I don't know, watching Facebook reels, TikTok, Netflix. Enjoy. God bless.